Hi everyone, I'm Debbie Polachek. Welcome to my channel. I come across a card, a blueprint of a card in this little group that I belong to, and I wanted to make this card. I thought it was cute, and what they did was they used like I would suppose it would have been more like little squares that you would put on top of your card, but I wanted to make mine into a window card. But if you look at this close, you could see it was very hard to do. It was very hard to cut the inside of these and make it nice. So to me, the only way you can do it, or only way I could do it, would be to use the die cuts. To make this stamp positioner. And I'm going to need this to help me position my die cuts in the right spot. And what I've done is cut a couple pieces of foam board, and it can be cut very easily with your paper trimmer just by putting it inside. And I needed it about a 1/2 inch, and this one particular one is 5 inches wide, so I need 1/2 inch by 5 inches. And you just take it, you cut it, flip it to the 1/2 inch mark again, and cut it again, and then you just pop it. You do for these two shorter ones that belong up here. I did have to make a mark, put it where I want it, make a mark, and trim it. And actually these two 5-inch ones is what fit right in here perfectly. So I got lucky on that. Okay, so that fits that way. In order to do, and also I have, along with my paper, a piece of very vanilla cardstock. Both of these are going to be for the top of my card. This is, these both are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I've got them right inside of there. I'm going to take my two shorter foam board and put them right here. Okay, so now I've got those two shorter ones here and the two 5-inch ones here. I'm going to go ahead and take my square, and this, now you could use, if you wanted a scalloped area around your card instead of the straight one, you could use one of your, I always mark them from smallest to the biggest for like 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and mark them so I know what order they are. And I've got, for my largest square, I've got a number 3, which is a third from the smallest, and a number 2 out, and then these are going to fit right inside of one another to make that little bit of trim around 2 of the windows. Now you could do it on all the windows, and you could even do a scallop if you wanted to, a scalloped and then a straight. That would be cute as well. And that would be probably a number 4 scalloped areas. So you could lay that here. But I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use this straight one, and I'm going to place that down. And I don't want to go underneath this foam. I just want to go straight to the foam. And then I'll tape this down. And I'm going to take both of them. I'm going to have to go back and forth to my die cut machine and cut those out. But I've got that taped down now. And I'm going to take both of those pieces of paper and cut them at the same time, keeping them straight. And actually, I think it would be a good idea to put 4 dots of glue about where I think those windows would be, so I can keep them straight. I'll go ahead and glue these together, line them up, trim them if I need to. And this is just temporarily going to be stuck together. So now I'll go ahead and cut this one out. I'm going to go ahead and flip it around this way and cut this one. If you have a lot of supplies but don't want to stop, look for my Stampin' Up! Link below so you can shop. This time I'll put them on the bottom. Make sure these stay together. Where they should be. I put a dot of glue in that wide panel in the middle of the card. Next, I am going to cut 2 pieces of this silver cardstock to 2 squares, 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Okay, now I'm going to center this smaller one where I think it should be. If it's a little bit off, it won't really matter, because that's why we got the backing of this to cover up all our little mistakes. So I'll cut this one out twice. Okay, and as you can see, that makes a real nice little neat little frame for the inside of 2 of these little windows. Now I'm going to cut a piece of window sheet. Go ahead and cut it 4 by 5 1/4. If I didn't have nothing but little scraps left over, I could actually make window sheets the same size as this, 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Make little glue dots on the edge of my window sheet about 1 inch apart. I'm trying to make them kind of flat so it doesn't take all day to dry. Remember to subscribe, share, and click the link below to help my channel grow. Okay, that's that one. I'm going to do the same thing to my foil pieces. We're going to let those dry. Go ahead and take this apart too. Okay, let's continue with our flower here. Okay, I did go ahead and cut out with the smaller die set my smallest poinsettia flowers, and I cut 2 old olive leaves. I cut 2 of the silver foil little holly things, whatever these are. And on the back of my flowers, after I just churned the edges with my bone folder, I put like a dot of glue and dragged it to the center. And I'm letting that harden so I can make my flowers 3-dimensional. I didn't want to go out too far because I don't want it to show in the window behind. So now I'm going to go ahead and place a dot of glue in the center and stagger it above the last. And I'm going to go ahead and poke that down so it'll be sure and stand up real well. Now I'm going to take this one and do the same thing. Since these are already dry or cooled off, they keep their shape. And I'm going to try to stagger it so all of my 3 rows of petals show very nicely. And I'll go ahead and glue my pearl accent in the center. With all that dimension, it's easier to stick the glue inside the flower instead of trying to glue the back of the flower. Now, for the inside of my card, the inside panel, this is the card base itself. I have a piece of cardstock that measures 5 1/2 by 4 5/8, and I scored it on the long side at 3/8 of an inch, and that's folded back. This is going to hold the top of my card. Then I have the red velvet cardstock in here that I have a measurement of 5 1/4 by 4. I've got my piece of cardstock that is 5 by 3 3/4. It is the very vanilla. I'm going to center this here. Take a pencil and mark in this hole very lightly, because I'm going to have to go back and erase these, in this hole. This window, I guess I should say. Little holly stamp and some Memento black ink, and put a little holly in these 2 corners. Go ahead and give this some color with my dark real red. I'm going to put the spacer on this side under here, because when I put this here without it, a little bit of my stamp hangs over. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this spacer here. That'll bring this out a little bit further, and that way when I put this against it, it'll grab it right in the right spot. Check my stamp and make sure that it still looks straight, and from what I can tell, it looks pretty straight. Now I'm going to use my real red ink. Try not to rock it too much to make a mess like I just did. So if I did, I'm going to go ahead and wipe that. Okay, still make sure that this is all the way to the end and all the way to the bottom underneath this thing here. Okay, now I'm going to take it back here, go all the way to the bottom and all the way to the left with this stamp, or with this block. Take my time, let that soak in, and hopefully it'll be good. And I think that's good. Now my stamp positioner helped me get that in the right position. Now I can go over and erase all my pencil lines. Now I can go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to center it from that score line all the way around. Now if you wanted to save a little bit, you could use your just real red cardstock here. Now I'm going to center this one here and go ahead and clamp these down with these little clamps right where I want it, because I'm going to have to hot glue or glue dot these to where I want it to be, because I don't think that glue will stick very well to this. If it does, it will take a while to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and just hot glue, since I have my hot glue gun out anyway. Get it as straight as I can before I clamp it. Then I'll run some glue either on this or that, whatever. Take my bone folder and go ahead and press that down pretty quick, because I want as smooth as I can of a writing surface. Okay, that's complete. Now, I think I have everything done here. So now I'll go ahead and put this together. And I'm going to go ahead and take this apart. Now I'm going to glue my little windows, oh my goodness, I hope I didn't get the glue everywhere. And I did. I can make a mess of anything. Okay, I'm going to flip this over, and I want this window to have the foil, or this other one. I think I want my foils to be on the opposite end of where I put the flowers, so I'll put this down. And hover, whatever you say that word is, over the center of that. Do the same to this one. There it is. Now let's see what else I need to do. Oh, I need to put my window sheet there. Hopefully with a little luck this will be covered up in the center here. I think it will be. Hot dog, diggity dog. Got lucky on that. Okay, so again I'm trying to give a good centering of this. Okay. That don't look so bad like that, does it? Just to go ahead and lay this flat on my work surface. Try to push this down. Try to even it up. Okay, that's the best way to do that. And go ahead and use the bone folder to get that down stuck real good. Actually, that looks pretty good. Doesn't really have to have this, but if you do use it, you want to be sure and get it in the right direction here for one thing. And you may need to take this and just trim it just a little bit on the inside of that, because that faux line might interfere with that just a little bit. But I think I'm going to leave mine like it is, because I like to see the berries, and the berries there is very pretty that way. So, but if I did want to cover it up, I could use this. Okay. For the final placement of my flower here, I'm going to go ahead and take a bit of glue and just glue a small dot in the center there. Place him right in the center. Squeeze. Kind of place this where I want it to be. So I'll just add a little dot of glue here. And I can glue this here. Okay, so that's my card. Hope you liked it, and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.